King, Mike in the Night, and the Gemini crew. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
I bid you good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. You are in for Mike in the Night. Sit back, relax your recliner chair, dim the lights. Maybe just put this on audio. You don't have to see my ugly mug. Crack open a window. Maybe drink some sparkling water if you're getting that bug that's going around, that 24-hour bug. Well, I feel for you. Maybe sit back, smoke a nice Cohiba cigar. I'm not promoting smoking, but promoting to sit back and relax, because you're in with Mike in the Night. Tonight, I'm doing a special show tonight because I couldn't do it last night, guys. I was so sick. I had that 24-hour bug, and man, there's a reason why it's called a 24-hour bug, because it hits you fast, it hits you hard, and it won't let go. It just won't let you. You can't function. You know what I'm saying? So we got people already rolling in the comment section right now. We got Razi Khan saying hello, mama. We got Layla. Hey, Mike, how you feeling? I'm feeling better. Mike, what's going on, buddy? Says Jake Maran. And Romeo in the man, college is getting expensive, man. Hope you're feeling better. And my 2020 prediction is total freeze over in real estate in Ontario as taxes are hiked. So, guys, let's do a channel plug real quick here, because I actually want to talk about that, because I brought that up today where I did a video where you're going to start to see abandon. It's called housing punishment. I did a video today at my house where in my one of the rooms here, and I was just talking about how basically it's like almost like a punishment to own now because taxes are too high. So if you can't sell because no one could afford to buy, but then people that can't afford to buy get into the market, man, this is a really bad predicament if people aren't careful. Because now you're if you're bad if you are, and you're bad if you don't. Like if you don't, you know, you're it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? That's a southern saying in the South Georgia. And yeah, housing punishment. So the people that didn't buy look back right now and say maybe renting is better. Toronto taxed to death. A restaurant is paying $209,000 a year for property tax. And Mike of the Night watching right now. Trends in the housing market. We got Vancouver's biggest film animation studio shutting down in Vancouver. A couple of 800 or 900 jobs gone. And then we got Home Depot's losing money to shoplifting and the opioid crisis. We had uneducated economists on the show on trends in the housing market. And we had Evan. And we have other shows here, other little videos here. I Escaped the Mike Martin's Cult. Really good video, guys, about someone who claimed that I created some sort of a cult or some sorts. So don't forget to hit me up on PayPal. Support me on Patreon. I'm hoping to get 25 Patreon supporters by Christmas. I lost a lot of Patreon supporters, so I'm down to 21 again. And don't forget to find me on BitTubers if for some reason you turn on the lights and I'm no longer. Look at that. I'm getting more views on BitTubers. Look at this. 525 views, okay? 7 hours ago. The same video on YouTube, like 400 views. And I have 11,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then on BitTubers I have 54 subscribers. 54. I get more views on this channel than I do on YouTube. So something's happening, right? And don't forget to support me on Subscribestar. I got 4 subscribers on there. So if you could go ahead and do something like that for me, guys, you'll find the links on the top right here on the channel. All right, let's move her on. So what's everyone up to? Send us a link, bro. Yeah, I'll send you guys a link to my Patreon. Mike's a cult. Yeah, did you see my cult video, guys? Check it out. It's really good. We got Gary Medeiros in the house. Yeah, we're getting all our Saturday folks coming in tonight because, you know, I missed last night. Everyone, like my wife, I think she's getting this now. Man. So that's why I'm not so, you know, I'm just kind of chillaxed tonight with Mike in the Night. British elections over, and the Labour Party took the biggest loss in history. The Conservatives won. I think it was like 380. They won by a huge landslide. I think the Conservatives want their country back. I think it's time. It's time. A lot of people woke up in the United Kingdom. I think they're going to start setting things straight with no debate. You know what I'm saying? Setting things straight with no debate. You got a UFO shirt? No. That's Frank Castle. If you guys don't know who Frank Castle is, then I don't know what to say. All right, we got uneducated. Well, I see uneducated economist on YouTube. I see. Yeah, maybe we'll do it. I got 2020 predictions tonight, guys. If you guys want to come on the show, let me know what you guys think is going to happen in 2020. Vinci 2020 20. What is going to happen? All right, here we go. Let's look at some news from our friends from Zero Hedge on what's going on. You need rehabilitations. Nunn's letter dismantles shifts over FISA lies, stroking steel and participating in cover-up. It's D-Day for the repo market, guys. This is a big one. On Monday, $100 billion in liquidity would be drained. What happens next? So the repo market will be drained of a lot of liquidity, and the repo market should be able to digest it without a surge in the GNC repo rate. If, however, the first repo prints on Monday come at 2% or higher, it would remain Pause year and doomsday forecast will come true. That's right, guys. And we're seeing those repo strains. We're seeing all kinds that's happening in that market right now. A quarter of kids treated at trans clinics may be autistic, new study finds. The ugliest cars ever made, nobody cares. Virtue signaling to the max, Dems or dis, their own debate. Asia Pacific manufacturing PMI slump, but China retail sales surge amid inflation spike. Yep, lots going on in China right now, man. You guys have no idea. This is, from what we know, it doesn't look good. But from what we don't know, it's horrible. You think it's bad here? Other people are suffering all over the world. Belinda says D-Day tomorrow, supposedly. So we'll see. I'm heavily invested in gold and silver. Hopefully, it's been going up lately. I got 2 stocks that I'm up pretty big in the last 2 weeks right now in silver, actually. Great slowdown. Indian economy headed towards an ICU, warns former economic official. Hyperinflation, money demand, the crack up boom. What will hit the market about 2020? Here's Goldman's answer. Market performance 2020 will largely depend on 2 things. Response to sensitivity to inflation and growth data. All right, that's enough there. There's enough stuff in there to digest. 2020 prediction, 2020 crystal ball predictions for the economy, politics, technology, and more. What are you guys predicting for 2020? I wonder if Jake, can you call into the show, buddy? Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. Jake Marin. Oh, missing YouTuber cringe channel. Why don't you call into the show? Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. Missing YouTuber cringe channel. Come on the show too. Low Roller Scratcher, you told me you were going to come on the show, but I know, you're kind of You're kind of scared. You're kind of scared, but that's okay. I had Evan on Skype earlier, but he can't make it. No, I don't have a landline anymore. Someone's asking if they could call my landline. I don't. Mr. State Free send me $2 as usual. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. You are doing great. Thank you so much. We got looks like there's some people on Skype, but I don't know how what their situation is, because it is a Sunday and it's a Monday. We got someone saying hi to me on Skype right now. Okay, we got hold on. Where did that go? Okay, hold on. I'm seeing here somebody here. Hold on, there's somebody messaging me, and I don't know. There they are. Here he is. All right, let's call Jacob, man. I spoke to Jacob the other day via the comment section.
Mike, how are you?
Jacob, how are you, my brother?
Good.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. How's the family?
The family's doing good. Can you see me?
I can't see you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, you can hear me loud and clear because I have my camera dedicated to the show. My camera's dedicated to so people can see me at home.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, let me just turn up the volume so I can hear you a bit better here. I'm not showing your face, so don't worry.
No, it's all good. I'm not shy, Mike.
Huh?
I said I'm not shy, Mike. No worries.
All right, here we go. It's our guy. So when you see him in the comments, now you know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Our man Jake. Our man Jake. Okay, so 2020 predictions, buddy. I know you've been following me for a while. What's gonna happen, man? Something's gonna give.
Well, I know you're out on the West Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not. I don't have boots on the ground out there myself, but here I'm just outside Toronto. I'm in Oshawa actually at the moment. Now, I know your focus primarily is real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thermometer of all things.
Right.
Out here, houses are just sitting here with for sale signs out here. No one's buying. So I foresee that this coming year, that's only going to get worse, because now people are, especially the baby boomers and stuff, are trying to sell their houses out here, and no one's buying them.
Okay, so you're seeing an oversupply on the markets right now.
Just in this little town, it's not really like, this 180,000, 160,000 people. And I know you had family, you said out in Brampton or whatever. And that's
Toronto, Brampton, and Oakville, and Mississauga.
Okay. They're probably doing a little better out there than they are here, right? Because we had the GM plant shut down and all that nonsense.
That's right.
And that's been, that's 30 years coming, that thing. That's not a surprise to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm seeing out here is the rents are like right through the roof here. And there's houses sitting there for sale and no one's buying them. So that can't end, that can't end. Well, I'm sure in the long run it'll be healthy, but from where I'm sitting right now, it's like stagnated maybe?
Yeah. So
what do you think?
Stagnation's kicking in. Stagnation's starting to kick in. Stagnation kicks in, so things slow down. Things start to slow down. You start to see people lose confidence in the market.
So I got an interesting perspective because I'm a security specialist, right?
Okay.
So last winter, I'm working in all these high-end condos in downtown Toronto. The most expensive, fancy condos you can get in the GTA, right? They were filled with foreign students from China, and speaking with them on a nightly basis. This was last winter, right? They said it's boring here. We're going home. The money is drying up. My parents are retiring. They're talking about their folks back in China, right? And this is just during the early days of the trade war, so to speak.
Right.
And now when you go out to Toronto now, especially the nightlife, it is a ghost town. All of these condos are empty. All our foreign students are leaving because the money from China is drying up, right?
Right.
facade of a city, I guess you could say. In the daytime, you can't tell because everyone commutes in from.
Hold on.
hundreds of
We're offline right now. Let me just get the. Let me just check something here. We're offline. Hold up. Don't move. We'll get back on right now.
Yeah, it's all good.
Ma, turn off that computer. I'm offline. Turn off the computer now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm going offline, guys. I don't know. It looks like I'm coming back on right now. Not too sure what's going on. It says I'm back.
Well,
yeah, I'm back. We got 48 watching. It looks like I'm back. YouTube does that. It just does that all the time because they need to allocate their resources to more important channels.
Oh, is that how it is?
Yeah, so if I'm pouring gravy down my pants, everyone will see it.
I think that YouTube's standing on its last legs, to be honest with you. Because everyone's trying to diversify, especially their social media platforms.
Yeah.
People are walking away from Facebook, all this kind of stuff, right? I never got into Twitter myself, but apparently they're walking away from that in huge numbers here. And you yourself, you're mentioning like you're not doing Facebook anymore. You're talking about getting off of YouTube, right?
Well, I'm on BitTubers, and that's working well. I have a video on BitTubers I put up 7 hours ago. It has 500 views, and I have 40 subscribers.
See, because the YouTube is picking and choosing who they're promoting. Is that what it is?
Well, of course they are, because if that wasn't the case, it'd be so different. I go on another platform with 50 subscribers. My videos get 400, 500 views because my subscriber to view ratio doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they bury it? Like, you're not controversial.
No, they just don't like, because if we mention like the FR word, the federal word, or Hill Dog, if we say Hill Dog's name, the channel, the video automatically gets demonetized.
Okay, I got a funny story for you. Okay, a couple months ago, I applied for a security analyst position in Facebook.
Okay.
They flew me down to California. I went to the head office, met all their HR people, had a fantastic 2 days there. Everything was very positive, super upbeat people. I come back to Ontario. I get a generic, you're overqualified email from them, and that was the end of all things, right? But behind the faces, you could see that they were definitely worried about something. And not being in their inner circle, I was a guest there, right? So I couldn't dig into, but they definitely had some plans, and cybersecurity was a significant problem that they were having. So they were like expanding their cybersecurity department, so to speak, right?
Right.
They did explain to me, because I'm not under any confidentiality agreement with them or anything, that their AI platform, their artificial intelligence, it failed, right? And YouTube and Facebook are a lot closer. They're married, essentially, right? And this artificial intelligence magic box, so to speak, is not what they thought it was, right? And they're not live monitoring. This is all algorithms and rudimentary artificial intelligence, right?
Okay.
And all that development was artificial intelligence development was more geared towards stock market trading. Oh. So they Facebook and WhatsApp and Viber, and they're trying to implement these it's not going to be the silver bullet that they think it is. And just saying random words in your YouTube videos is essentially, I think, what it is. It's getting you, they're burying you and everybody else, right? So if they've gone so far that people are just walking away. And I think in the long run, that's going to be a good thing.
So do you see, now let me ask you, speaking about specific words, do you think Hill Dog is going to run in the 2020 presidential election? And if Hill Dog wins, would she lose again?
That's a very good question. I think that's a money question.
Right.
Where's the money going to come from? Who's her friends? His friends?
Because I think Hill Dog, I think she's done, but she's feeling pressured to run again.
Yeah, like I said, if the money's there, because campaigns are all about money essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's been my observation. And you get these flukes though, like Trump, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and he just kind of like just stood up one day and said, "I'll run for president," right? And that was kind of a fluke where money wasn't a factor, but he also has friends that are richer than him, right? So you could buy your way in. But when it comes to elections and other ponds where there's bigger fish, so I think that Hill Dog, for example, if they have the financial backing to play ball with everyone else, then we'll definitely see them run. And also, there's pressures that we don't see, right?
Right.
So, what do you think, Mike?
Well, I'm asking you. It's your prediction night. Everyone's going to comment. So, okay, who do you see winning the 2020? Do you think? Okay, we don't have to tell us who's going to win, but do you think it's the Democrats or it's going to be the Republicans?
Well, my I guess a conspiracy, you could call it that. I see the disorganization of the Democratic Party is almost done on purpose.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, because they have no leadership from what I can see.
Oh, wait. Hold up one second. Is it the same thing like the Conservative Party in Canada had no idea what the heck they were talking about when they were on the... If you looked at the Conservative Party when they were debating during the political debate,
yes,
you couldn't tell if they were tricking or treating. You had no idea.
I thought that they were trying to out Justin with having Andrew Scheer in there. They wanted like a conservative version of Justin Trudeau, and Andrew Scheer is just he's not that loose, right? He's an intelligent man, but he's not that loose. He wasn't that as confident, and I feel the Conservative Party of Canada is not as unified as it should be.
Right. Do you see Western Canada becoming an issue, leaving Canada in 2020?
I don't think they're going to leave in 2020, but I do think that they're going to start throwing their weight around more than they have been. And who could blame them? We have people in Toronto are dictating policy in Edmonton, and that just that's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
Look at the European Union.
Yeah, that was built for failure. Okay, next let me ask you this one. What do you think is going to happen in 2020 with 5G? Do you think it's going to roll out fully blanketed across Canada, or it's going to make its way slowly across?
No, I think 5G, Canada will be one of the last developed countries to be implementing 5G fully. Their government networks, yes, but anything public, not likely. Canada doesn't really have that much infrastructure when you really think about it.
Okay.
There's more pavement and cell towers in Texas than there is in all of Canada.
Okay. Yeah. Like I keep saying in my shows, Texas has more major cities than all of Canada.
Oh, absolutely it does, and it's not the only place. If California was it's a failing state now, but if it was its own country, it would go head to head with Canada.
Oh yeah, easy, hands down. Okay, 5G. Do you see social credit scores? Do you see the Liberals bringing in social credit scores into Canada?
We already have a social credit score when you think about it, because look what's happening to you, Mike. Right, you throw around a few words or mention a few names that people don't like, and you're getting buried. Right. Not
only that, people create these that cult of Mike Martins. Did you read that?
I did. I found that fantastic. You have to love your haters a little bit.
Yeah, I do.
Anybody that goes through the trouble to go out of their way to do something like that, if someone really hates you, Mike, it's because they love you just a little.
Yeah. Yeah, you said that in the comments actually on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would embrace it, because I feel that if you're growing in popularity, your haters will grow also. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I just own it, and I think you're doing a great job. And there's definitely no cult of Mike Martins, but if there is, then we're all guilty. Everyone here tonight. So.
All right. Any other 2020 predictions you want to throw out there?
Okay, I got you. The gun control program that's coming from the Liberals of Canada up here, that'll bury them. I think we'll get a snap election sometime near the summer.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to roll out some kind of weird, dystopic, disconnected policies are going to come through, and they're going to get buried. They're going to, the NDP is going to turn on them because they're kind of their proxy. Used to be a proxy party. I don't know how it is now, but I feel that with the NDP vote against them or turn on them, there'll be a no confidence vote, and there'll be a snap election this year. That's my prediction.
Okay.
And the alienation of the prairies will spread. I think you saw some of it spreading into BC a little bit.
Yeah.
This election, and the divides have never been greater, right? So, like I said, the people in the city are writing policies for people that are so far removed from them that it's just, you're just asking for trouble.
Right.
Right. You're far from the big city, right?
I'm 2.5 hours from Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened there, like on a local level during your election, the election?
Well, on a local level, it was all liberal.
Oh, okay. Well, where you are now?
But not where I am. Where I am is conservative. Like in the interior where I am is all conservative all the way across to the end of Canada.
Well, see, exactly. That's where we're at. And here in Ontario, where I am, you did not see a Liberal campaign sign. You did not see anything like that out here. But they still managed to hold on.
Right.
Right. I feel that they somehow managed to pull that victory out of their rear end, so to speak. And then the first controversial move that they make this year will cause a snap election. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Particularly, well, go ahead, sir.
No, don't call me sir. I wanted to ask you, do you know, I was going to ask you something. You're in the security. What do you predict for 2020 security? What do you see being, we all know it's cyber, but what do you see being hit the hardest, infiltrated the hardest?
This is going to be definitely the government of Canada, because they're already having significant cybersecurity issues. Their networks and philosophy is sadly outdated. It has not been invested in. It has not grown with the modern threats.
Right.
Now you're getting artificially intelligent malware. You're getting viruses and that are writing their own programming and coding, and they still have a 1970s mentality when it comes to a lot of things. I foresee the Canadian government will most likely get raided at some point. Their servers will get looted, things like that.
Okay.
This is why the F-35 program put on hold. It's totally we won't be buying those jets. And that's because a month after the Americans started flying around, the Chinese had one just like it.
Yeah.
So that had Canada pull out, even though it cost us, I think it was $10 billion. Something like that, because their networks is not secure, right? And that problem's only going to get worse, because when you're playing catch up in the technology-based world, you can never really catch up, because it's ever changing, right? And when you're behind the ball, or you're far behind, you're not going to be able to recover. It's just not going to happen.
Right. So
they should have invested in this with the advent of smart technology in 2006, when they started having Blackberries and we started having Wi-Fi connected phones.
Yeah, they should have been on the ball earlier.
That's right. And personal information is generally what they raid in Canada. They want your credit card information. They want your pedigree, your date of birth, all this kind of stuff. But it's not for as nefarious of reasons as people think. It's usually for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
They want to know what you're buying with your Visa card at Walmart or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So they know what to advertise towards to you, what to sell you later.
Well, that's exactly it, right? And now everyone is looking for the magic box to keep the Chinese out, and it's already too late, because they built the box and sold it to us.
That's the scariest thing I'm probably going to hear for tonight. They built the boxes and they sold us the boxes. They were already in them. Like
That's right.
a dirty suit, a cheap
Yes.
suit.
So I was working. I was doing security out in the Philippines for several years, and the company I was working for would get we would get like 13,000 attacks every single day.
13,000
Attacks to our servers every single day from China.
regarding like just
Well, we manufactured oil and gas. So oil and gas has a lot of trade secrets and technology that belongs to, some of the larger companies, and this is all industrial, right? And the Chinese, that's their favorite. That's their favorite information to steal is industrial secrets
wow.
for efficiency purposes.
Wow. This is a
Yes.
huge. I know of like them trying to steal the KFC secret type of thing. It goes around. They're just trying to infiltrate and look big. But I think it's more of a information age war we're in. We're in an economic takeover, and I think we're in an information age war. And if you can't defend yourself against it, I think you're in trouble.
Oh, absolutely. And the time has come and gone for the preparations, right? Like as I was saying before, you can't play catch up in the cyber conflict zone, right? You go in with what you have,
Right.
and this is the Achilles heel of the 5G technology. The infrastructure is all designed by the Chinese, and this is why everyone's putting the brakes on it, because if you're going to let our would-be enemy to install telecommunication infrastructure in your country, like it's just over. You might as well hand them the keys.
Well, Australia did that in Darwin. They brought in the 5G in Darwin, Australia, Northern Australia, right from China.
Yes, absolutely, they did. And if you look at Australia, they have problems at every single level, right? Financially, socially, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And their politics are every bit as complicated and messy as ours. And the Chinese have been in their pocket for a long time now.
Yeah, I heard it since like 1986, 87.
Yeah, they probably had no choice but to install it or face unforeseen consequences.
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing now in Australia is liquid natural gas, LNG. They want to switch their powers and their electricity infrastructure over to LNG. So that'll be interesting where that technology comes from.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right,
I can go on and on.
All right, Jacob, we're going to let you go because we're going to take on a few more callers, but we're going to have you definitely back on the show when you can. I really want to have you on the show again to talk 5G, to talk about cybersecurity, to talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. You're very well in tune with this stuff. So if you would like to, I would like for you to definitely come back on, okay?
I always have time for you, Mike.
All right, brother Jacob, you take care, and you have.
I'm going, but I'll still be listening. Okay.
All right, I'll see you in the comments, and you have a Merry Christmas. If I don't speak to you by then, okay?
Fantastic to you too and your family.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. Okay, bye.
All right, that's our man Jacob, who is in the comments right now, and he let me just turn on my Skype here again. Sorry. Seems like a really in tuned, up to speed, up to date, inside information guy. Really good guy to have backing you up. I'm seeing some lag here. Yeah, it's always lagged. It's always lagged. It's always lag. It always catches up a few seconds later. But guys, let's see who else is here. That's good. We got another new caller on the show. Good. So we got David Xavier in the house. We got Jordan Retro in the house. Sorry guys, if I was working out when you called me. Oh, you were working out? Working out. It's like 7, 8, 9. It's like 8, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's 10:30. It's still early. Yeah. Somebody's saying, guys, how do I move to Arizona? Houses are $200K. Oh no, that's too much. Don't go to if you go outside of Phoenix, like southeast of Phoenix, I would actually go to Tucson. Tucson's an up and growing area. It's got the infrastructure. It's beautiful at night. It's like beautiful when the sun sets. You could get a place for like 140, like a 4 or 5 bedrooms. So kind of just throwing that out there if you're going to Arizona. Phoenix is nice. It's a big city, but you want to be a little bit, maybe 40, 30 minutes away in Tucson, and you're better off. Wow, that was an earful of information right there. Wow. From our man Jake. Wow. All right, so let's get on a few more callers. Let's see who's here. We got a lot of people tuning in. We need your 2020 predictions. So message me on Skype if you want to come on real quick. I'm going to go on here real quick. Okay, next recession won't be as bad. Wealth management won't save banks. Central banks push for greener business. Negative interest rates go mainstream. Oh, no. Oh, we don't want this. We don't want negative interest rates to go mainstream. Sorry, guys, if I'm not on the ball 100%, I'm still getting over this massive sickness. Negative interest rates go mainstream. Tesla raises money again. Retail switcheroo. Vasco girls impact. $60 price of barrel oil to end at 2020. 3,200 S&P 500 at the end of 2020. Women CEOs, 37 women CEOs in Fortune 500. Man, there's so much going on here. Oh, whoa. What do they predict for? Bernie Sanders isn't looking good for vice president. The tech forecast. Facebook kills Libra. Protesters new tools. Piracy makes a comeback. More hardware indies get acquired. Election hackers get nabbed. A podcasting ad squeeze. Investors agree. A second Arab Spring will emerge. Wow, really? That's something. Wow, that's something that could put oil at a certain price if things aren't careful, or if they aren't careful. We need to get Stefan Sewell in the house to call into the show, please. All right, what's going on, Mike in the night? You're burning your Sunday night, aka Monday morning or Monday afternoon for some people. All right, let's see who we got here. We got someone from Kitchener-Waterloo. We got somebody from Sydney, Australia. Melbourne, come on. Let me call the Raven. He probably doesn't know I'm on. I just want to surprise him. So Jake is saying one more big spike, electric cars will take over. No. I think I see Supreme Cannon in the comments and I see him on Skype. So let's get him on and give us his 2020 predictions. Well, Supreme Cannon Skype is off too. All right, moving on. Nobody. Everybody's on Skype, but no one's on. Like, the Skype's turned off. I tried calling Supreme Cannon. He's not answering. Supreme, are you there, buddy? Can you talk? Supreme, are you there, buddy? Can you talk to me? There we go. We got Lord Humongous in the comments there. There we go. Let's see if Lord Humongous could pick up and give us some... Anybody pick up the damn phone. There we go.
Yo.
What's up, dog?
What's up, dog?
Guys, don't forget to check out Lord Humongous on Patreon if you want to support his cause. You're building a compact, explain to us what you're doing, Lord.
Hold on. I got to turn up the volume somehow. Wait a minute here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
No.
I hear you perfectly. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. Oh, I'm building an Earth Ram house, basically. Rammed Earth.
Rammed Earth House. So he is
Yeah.
on Patreon. If you want to, maybe Lord, leave your link in the comments there, and we'll get to you ASAP. But for now, tonight we are talking about 2020 predictions. You are in south of Colorado or south of Colorado. What is happening? What do you see happening in 2020? Do you see 5G taking off? Do you see Hill Dog getting in and winning the election? What do you see happening? Tell us your 2020 predictions.
I think we're going to see monetary collapse worldwide.
Continue.
I think we're going to see a lot of different changes go on. I don't know, man. I've been kind of sick like you into the weather too right now.
Yeah, your health's been up and down, eh?
Yeah.
I've been sick for 2 days straight. I had that 24-hour flu, man.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think Hill Dog's gonna get into the is gonna jump in last second?
I don't think so. I think that goose is cooked.
Well, everyone's been saying the same thing, but she's feeling pressured.
Yeah, but they'll find something. They'll find somebody else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whichever side they throw up. Both sides. I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, okay, do you see banks getting more bail-ins? Most importantly, do you see us going into negative interest rates?
That's already happening with Deutsche Bank.
No. Is that happening in America, Canada?
It will eventually, yeah, because Japan was running on that for 30 years.
Interesting.
You know, it's all in the history, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said.
So they punish savers and they reward borrowers.
Correct. Hold on a second. I can pay better attention if I go outside. Hold on, I got just too much going on right now. Boy.
All right.
What's the question?
5G, you see it rolling out through American cities, or is it going to be kind of hit and miss?
It already is. It already has been.
But do you see it conquering? Is it going to conquer all of America? When do you think? Do you think by 2020 America will be fully under 5G?
No. Never. Only the major metropolitan areas. They've already got towers that have been going up in the last year in New York City, Los Angeles, and a couple other areas, even here in Denver.
Okay.
But they're just going to be able to put them up in the cities. I don't see them going out to the rural areas.
Okay. So you see it more of a... That's why... Do you think that's why they're trying to push everyone into the city so they're easy to track?
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it. And then they want to usher everybody in on a digital type system so they can all be tracked.
Interesting. Very interesting. I wanted to ask you, what do you think is going to happen with the... You say there's a huge economic collapse. Do you see this repo? I know it's not going to be in 2020, but there's going to be a repo pullback on Monday morning, like AKA in the next couple of hours here. What do you think is going to happen to the markets tomorrow?
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to tell.
$100 billion bucks.
How much money printing that they did, and not just that, it's digitized already. So whatever they want to add to a computer screen, that's what gets added. So I mean, all the markets are manipulated through electronics. You know.
Okay. Do you see oil going up in 2020?
In America, no. In other parts of the world, yes. Like especially China.
Yeah.
China's products are basically made of plastic and petroleum. So
yeah, petroleum-based products, right?
Yeah, they need the oil more than America does.
Do you see
We're sitting actually on a strategic supply of about 200 years.
Yeah. Do you see wanted to ask you this one. What was it? Damn. Do you see quantum computing? Do you start? Is it going to be in the big? What country is? Are we going to get to quantum computing in 2020? We've been trying to get to quantum computing since 2006. Do you think we'll hit the nail on the head in 2020 with quantum computing?
For the general populace?
No. I'm talking about like governments and military and stuff.
They've had quantum computing for a long time, Mikey.
Really?
Yes. They've had cryptocurrency for a long time. They've had cryptography since the 1950s.
Right, but okay. So you're saying that quantum computing is already in like military and all those like higher level government levels, right?
Oh yeah, I mean look at AI. That's all quantum computing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes out of artificial intelligence is quantum computing, but it's flawed. It's artificial. It's not real.
Right.
See,
right.
When people start separating real from artificial, I think they're going to be more awake to what's really going on.
Right. Right.
You know.
Do you see a collapse in the greenback?
The greenback collapse happened back when Abraham Lincoln created it.
Do you see a collapse in I see a breakdown in trade, not trade wars, but we're in, but trading. I think is going to see breakdown between. Even
now, are you calling the greenback the Federal Reserve note?
Yeah.
See, that's where you're getting it mixed up. It's not. The Federal Reserve is no more Federal Reserve than Federal Express is federal. Does that make sense?
Yes. I know what you mean.
Private corporations, bro. That's the battle.
That's what runs these countries, right?
Right. I'm more worried about what's going on with the ECB and Christine Lagarde and different players over there, what they're trying to do.
Wars. 2020.
Wars?
Anything big?
Not unless somebody attacks us. I mean, then they'll have an excuse then. Or they could stage a false flag, take us back into another war for another 18 years.
No hot war with China and Japan? No hot war? You don't see anything like internationally, like Brazil and Argentina or Libya and...
You know what I see, Mikey? I see the deterioration of all societies from first world all the way down to third world countries, and it's all based off of monetary printing and who controls what, different ideologies. That's what it's always been about.
You know what I feel is going to happen in 2020? Actually, I feel they're going to federalize food more. It's going to be more federalized to a point where our food's going to be even more controlled than it is now, like a lot more controlled. And it's not going to be controlled where they're going to make sure it's good for us to eat. They couldn't care less about that. I'm talking about it's going to be more controlled logistically, and it's going to be more controlled. Like everything's going to have a barcode on it. It's going to be really bad.
Well, I think that's why they want to come out with the automated trucks. That's why the trucking, industry is basically getting shut down. I mean, it's just it's BS. We have a bunch of these quantum idiots that think they know best on how humans behave or adapt or whatever, and then they just make life miserable for everybody else, basically trying to be too efficient. Technology is dangerous, man. People don't realize the dangers of technology.
Well, you saw what happened with Skynet, right?
Yeah, Skynet, the whole deal, man. You're gonna have T-800s pretty soon.
Yep, and people laugh at them when you say that, but realistically, we are headed towards that path of destruction regardless. Yeah.
When you take the human element out of anything, I mean, what point is it? It's just like I read a thing about BMW. They were going to have automated robots so they could, increase their production line of BMWs coming out.
Right.
Well, who the hell's going to buy these BMWs? Other robots or...
Other robots? See, that's the question no one's asking. Are other robots going to buy these BMWs? Because humans don't make enough realistically to get into anything anymore, unless they're up at the top, right?
Right. Well, the only thing that's going to beat this thing, like I said before, is physical gold, precious metals, bartability. Life's going to suck, but it's good. We're as humans, we're getting back to the basics while these other idiots are going to implode the system.
Now let me
And it's
ask you.
been going on for a long time. They just don't want to give up their power. But they're going to have no choice at the end because then those robots that they create for that efficiency are going to end up killing them anyways.
Well, yeah, it ends up becoming a vicious circle of death.
Of course, just like taxes.
Well, all right. Automated trucks. Do you think they'll take over?
I don't see it taking over. No, they've had too many problems with them.
Okay.
Like I said, it's like they're throwing. It's like they're throwing whatever against the wall and seeing what sticks. Basically.
Okay. What do you predict happening most likely? An EMP attack, a collapse of the electrical grid in the United States, or an earthquake in California? Of those three.
Probably an earthquake in California.
Okay. Yeah, there's been a couple of earthquakes over Yosemite the last couple of weeks, eh?
Right. There's been a couple in places that shouldn't have been too.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was one in the Philippines last night.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you. There's actually an article I want to read for you guys later in the show. I'm going to bring it up here. It's kind of important. It was sent to me from somebody in. Actually, Lord, you're on the phone. You're on the phone with me. I actually want to bring this up to you, with you on the phone, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And this was brought to me. This was sent to me by. I have lots of admirers. I don't know if you know, Lord, but I'm very famous in Portuguese Africa.
Uh-huh.
And in Portuguese Africa, it's a little bit different. It's very well, how do you say, industrialized, lots of infrastructure, airports, everything. It's like the Portuguese spent money to fix those countries as opposed to take them over and screw them over.
Right.
Anyways, so this is a pretty big one. This was sent to me by someone that's in the Mozambique presidential parliament. Okay. He sent it on my Facebook fan page. My Facebook fan page, by the way, guys, it's in Portuguese. No one panic, okay? But I have 120,000 fans. I'm not going to shut that down. And it says here, China swallows Angola florestas de Mozambique. What it's saying is China is swallowing up Mozambique's rainforests.
Yeah.
Like they're taking all the there's all these trucks just taking the biggest trees they can right here in Mozambique. The justice of this person's name said that the government, I'm just reading this from Portuguese, doesn't have control over its own forests. And right now, it is being shown and it's being demonstrated that a corruption and bad corruption and movement of taking down trees with no proper jurisdiction in them. So right now, China's been coming in and they've been taking out and decimating trees, like taking 93% of the country's wood to basically will end their contract in 2029.
Uh-huh.
This is a big deal, dude.
Now are they cutting is that area that you're talking about? Is that fertile like land to grow like food on? Because that's China's deal. They're starving. They can't feed their populace. Unlike America. I mean, as bad as we have certain players that have sold out our agricultural lands to China.
Well, what's happening right now is they're stealing all their wood. They're no longer, it says here, they're no longer buying wood as much as from Canada and the United States.
Right.
So they've
that's probably part of the economic war that's going on, the Cold War. Has to do with who owes who what funny money. Basically, that's why China and Russia are smart. They went after the gold early. They've been, they're not that I like their governments or anything, but they're making the right play because at the end of the day, China's going after mining companies in the South Pacific as well, like small islands. There's like another story I read.
But for China to go in and wipe out 93% of a country's wood by 2029, like what the heck? Right. Where's that Greta girl? Why isn't she flying in there to save this? That's a lot of wood. Mozambique is a big country, dude.
She doesn't give a shit. I mean, none of these people do. They're all paid puppets. It's part of the show.
That's a lot of wood, buddy.
That is a lot of wood.
So they're taking the wood. They're not paying for it, right?
Right.
China's just like, how's about we don't go to war with you and we'll call it even, right?
Yeah, well, there's two ways to rape a country, okay, of its sovereignty and its people.
Right.
One's through warfare, and the other one's through economic warfare and resources. And that's what they want. And it plays, no matter how it plays on the world stage, these big powers are the ones that go in there and do that kind of stuff. USA included, Canada included. It's
Oh, Canada doesn't even have cybersecurity protection. I don't think Canada's got much.
Yeah, you guys got plenty of wood though up there.
No, but I'm talking about when it comes to using machine guns to dictate your rules.
Yeah, right.
Canada doesn't have much with that.
Right.
America does. America's got a lot of machine guns, and so does like Russia and China, right?
Yeah, but not as many as America.
Yeah.
I mean, we got, for 300 million people, we have probably 8 guns to each gun owner. So you times that. Let's say there's 100 million gun owners and they all have 8. That's 800 million rifles. I wouldn't want to be trying to take over a country, no matter what technology you have, with that kind of firepower.
No, there's no way. There's no way because they have to do street by street, textbook, basic military sweeping, and that could take 100 years.
Yeah, well, they couldn't even. Nobody's been able to conquer Afghanistan, Russia, or America. So what does that tell you?
Again, you have to go through basic because they were armed back in the day, right? The Afghanis were armed. The Afghani freedom fighters in 1981 were armed by the Americans, right? And that's how they formed the Taliban.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it was all, it's all making money at the same time too. All the defense industries, of course.
Right. That's right.
That's why they're trying to take away Americans' rights to own weapons, because they know that that's the only way they're going to be able to ever take this place.
Is by
legislation, which is not law. They can make up whatever they want. When you want to set a law into practice, it has to go through the process of Congress and everything else. I mean, these willy-nilly laws and executive acts and everything are all a bunch of just hoopla.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's tied into the financial system.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So I'm gonna guys, don't forget to Lord Humongous is on Patreon. Lord, could you leave a link, please, if you don't mind, in the chat here, so people could support you? He's building a house, so he hasn't been feeling well lately. He's got some medical problems, but he's been working it through. And this spring, we want to get him to start making some videos. He said he was going to start making videos. So if you guys could support him on Patreon, I'm supporting him on Patreon. We need everybody there supporting him on Patreon.
Mikey, on my YouTube channel, they can actually subscribe there, and if they want to mail me anything that would help, that would be great too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I put my address in there.
Just leave a link in the comments there as it goes live.
All right, buddy.
All right, thank you so much, buddy. You have a good one, and we'll talk soon, okay?
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Right, bye. Wow. So lots going on. Yeah, so this is a big deal, guys. This is a big deal. China swallowing forests of Mozambique. So this is a big deal. I read a bit of this earlier. I couldn't believe what they're doing to these countries and how they're just basically... They have all the different forests here, right here, all of them. Empresa Florestas apostam em Moçambique. Hunger for wood. Look at this, another article here. Hunger for wood? What? Hunger for wood? Chinese kills dozens of forests in Mozambique. Look at that. Look at that. There's multiple articles. This is not good. This is not good. All right, let's get Supreme Cannon on for a plug here. Let's see if he could tell us his predictions for 2020.
Hola, amigo.
Hey, Supreme, what's up, buddy?
Oh, man, my signal went down completely.
Are you okay now?
Stone dead for a bit.
Okay, is it okay now?
That was a little... So far so good. Yeah, like it's just come back up. So far so good, I think.
Okay. Anyways, I got this here. I brought this up before
Are you hearing me?
Huh? Can you hear me? Supreme?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what's the deal with China eating up all of Portuguese Africa's forests here in Mozambique?
Oh, they're that's been going on for a while.
41
people
million
don't have.
hectares.
There's no economy there.
Well, no, this started around 2007. It says here, and 41 million hectares of trees are going to be cut, and they're going to take 97% of the trees in the country.
Yeah, well, they have no economy, and the Chinese have been buying. Yeah, they've been buying. They'll buy logs from anywhere. They don't care. It was the early 2000s. They were talking about all the wood that was coming out of mahogany and stuff that was coming out of Malaysia and Indonesia, and they're just raping the place for to sell wood for cash, and the government looks the other way.
600 million meters per year.
God Almighty! Yeah, no, it's and isn't it nice to know that it's all these credit cards that are paying for it all and all this home equity? I mean, why else would they need all this?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
This it's ridiculous. It's been going on for a long time. Yeah, the whole Southeast Asia is just getting.
But Mozambique's in Africa, right? And that's far
Mozambique's
from China.
in Africa. Yeah, but I mean, they don't care. They'll take it from anywhere.
Well, they were stealing. My friend from Mozambique sent me an article, and it was stated that they were stealing their beach land, their beach sand, and taking it over on big ships to build those artificial islands in China.
Shocked, right? I'm not shocked by that either. Yeah, they source that stuff from wherever. Yeah, to build the islands where they put their bases in the South China Sea. That's just awesome. Yeah, you just love to hear stuff like that, eh?
Yeah, but you know how far Mozambique is from China?
Oh, it's a long way, man.
It's like 9,000 miles.
Well, it's in South Central Africa, isn't it? Do they have a coastline?
Southwest Africa. No, it's got a coastline. The Portuguese only colonized off the coastline.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then go along the other side, right?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of that's there. Why doesn't that Greta lady go over there and start save all those trees? That's how much trees that you work in the lumber industry, right? You understand 600 million square meters of lumber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an insane amount of wood. I mean, obviously, in a rainforest, it's probably going to grow back somewhat faster than it would here. But some of that really tight grain stuff like mahogany and teak is it takes a while.
Mm.
Yeah, but the good news is that once it's gone, they won't be doing it anymore. They'll just have weeds. But I mean, it's so rainy there. Stuff will grow back. But yeah, it's brutal. Economic development just sucks, and Greta isn't going to bother them because she only cares about blue-eyed people that live in cities.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't care about anybody else. We're the bad people, remember?
Yeah, we're all bad.
Yeah.
We're bad.
Oh well, more to the point, we're the ones with money, right? Those people don't have money. She's going to tell them you can't do this to make a living, and they're gonna laugh her out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
White liberals won't do that.
Right. All right, okay, 2020 predictions. All right, tell us what you think is going to happen 2020. Okay, let's start with 2020 elections in the States.
2020 elections in the States, Trump will win. It looks like this impeachment thing is going to go to the Senate. It'll get laughed out of there.
Well, they don't have anything. I can understand if the guy broke the law or something. They keep going on and on with this broken record that's not going anywhere. It's really becoming, it's becoming a joke. What is it, impeachment number 409?
Pretty much. Well, they're getting desperate, and I mean, they got to play to their base. They have to keep their base stirred up. They've got to at least hang on to their support. It's a race against time. They're trying to buy time until the economy crashes, and just like Trump is trying to buy time so he can get elected before the inevitable happens, right? Like we're everything's being held in midair. That is part of my 2020 prediction. I think things will hang in midair.
Okay, next question. Do you see Hill Dog coming out of the shadows and running?
Well, like I've said before, Mike, I don't think she has a choice. If her handlers, if her donors, the people who've stuck $1 billion into her 2016 campaign, if the Democratic Party sees any use whatsoever in bringing her out again, she's going, whether she wants to or not. She has doppelgangers. She has people that look like her, and I think most high power figures do anyway. But I've seen it pointed out, and a couple times she's been seen in public, and I don't think it's her.
No?
I think sometimes it isn't. I don't think, because she's got no choice. She's terribly sick. I know she's dying, but she's she's not
Hello?
well. Also, whether she's running low. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, you're breaking
you
up
there?
there.
Oh, yeah, my signal might drop out, so I'll be as quick as I can on this. Yeah,
Well, I don't think being quick is going to make your signal any better.
No, but I'll say as much as I can. It's a verbal form of data compression, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, I don't think she'll run. I don't think they have a choice. If anything, they'll bring Michelle Obama. Hell, maybe they'll get Oprah to run. I mean, they're down to the they're down to the scraps now.
Okay. Do you see a 5G massive takeover with rolled in with social credit scores in 2020, or is it still too early for us?
I think it's too early, and it could be forestalled anyway. I mean, that kind of thing is going to take an enormous investment to put those towers like literally on every street corner, 50 yards apart or whatever. I mean, you can't blanket the land like that in a year. That would take many years. And people have got to want it. At some point in time, the campaigns to say, not my backyard are going to come out, and there are going to be places where they're going to have to come down. They're just going to say, forget it. I think that the people that bring this stuff in, it's partly a combination of they don't do a lot of testing on people before they roll it out. It's just like, well, we'll bring it out. It's like Microsoft software, send it out full of bugs and let consumer feedback help us fix it, which is a ridiculous business model. But let's face it, they've been using it for 25 years.
Okay.
So you got to hand it to them.
What do you see most likely happening in the United States / Canada? EMP attack, earthquake in California, or what was it? EMP attack, earthquake in California, or a complete breakdown of the electrical grid?
I don't think any of those will happen. I don't know. Where earthquakes are concerned, God,
well,
who knows?
if you have I'm saying if you had to make a choice of one of the three, which one would you put your money on?
Well, their grid would probably go down.
Electrical grid?
But it would be periodic. I mean, the wires don't go anywhere, right? The transformers don't go anywhere. But if the equipment hasn't been upgraded, they'll have to take it down. Pacific Gas and Electric has had blackouts in targeted areas in California already this year, like for several days.
Rolling blackouts.
Rolling blackouts. Yeah, it's just pathetic.
That happens a lot in Iraq.
Yeah, well, for obvious reasons, they had the hell bombed out of them. So far as I know, this isn't happening in California. No, it's utter incompetence and probably corruption. I would not be surprised if there were political reasons for it. I couldn't spell out what they are, but who the hell knows anymore? When you get to that level of power and influence, the governor will do whatever you want. You're the tail wagging the dog after a while.
Do you see the Trump wall being built in 2020 finalized?
I think most of it will be.
Okay.
I mean, it's just steel and concrete, and most of the money, he's found the money for it. It'll happen. Now, it will be effective to an extent. Obviously, people have come up with ladders to scale it and everything else, but you're not going to have 100,000 people climbing ladders every day. You could have drones or vehicles. I mean, it's not like there's nobody watching this wall anywhere. So, and the whole point is to act as a deterrent. That's all a wall is, right? Or locks on your doors. They're just a deterrent, or they buy you time. Someone tries to break into your house, well, you're probably going to hear them before they actually get inside. So you have a chance to respond. And that's all the wall's going to do. So no, I think it's full speed ahead. I think there's parts of it because of the geography, because of existing barriers. They only needed about 500 miles or something. They didn't have to build like 2,000. So I think it'll be finished. He's cracking the whip for it to get done before the election. He wants to present it as a fait accompli, so I think it will happen.
Okay, do you see Florida being underwater? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Because we are D-Day plus what? 12 years? What, D-Day plus 8 years since Al Gore said Florida was going to be underwater?
Yeah, well, if we're going to be underwater in 12 years, why are we talking
No. I'm talking about what Al Gore said at the UN meeting that by 2015 or 2016, Florida would be underwater. So we're D-Day plus 3 years?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And the polar ice caps apparently disappeared in 2013 and then came right back again because that was his prediction in about 2005, I believe.
So that's D-Day plus 13 years.
Yeah, no, they're banging the gong and they're trying to keep people stirred up. They're trying to keep their base stirred up because they need enough electoral power to seize the high ground and hold it. This new Democratic governor in Virginia apparently is working on a state law to basically suspends the Second Amendment and looking into using the Virginia National Guard to enforce it. I don't think these people seriously expect these things to work unless they're completely insane. I think they're just, for whatever reason, trying to keep people stirred up. They want their own side to see them as social justice warriors. So they're going to attack conservatives all out. We're going to see an escalation of political violence in 2020.
Okay, okay, that's what I was going to ask. The next question I was going to ask you, if you see an uprising in North America, so let's say Canada, US, even in Australia, New Zealand, in the Commonwealth, if you see an uprising, what would it be over? Housing affordability gets to a point where people just fight back? Do you see more of a social breakdown that we're already in but get worse? We're in a social discussional breakdown where it's only one side of the discussion, and if you can't convey someone's thoughts, even if you're trying to be as logic as possible, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or do you see more of a runoff on the banks with people losing confidence and people removing their money from the banks?
Well, the banks, they can pump full of money. So if there was no confidence, they would that would be an opportunity to go full digital because they just say, well, we don't have cash. We barely use cash. But if your money is there, okay, but you have to use it electronically. I could see that being a maneuver if, the S hits the F. You know what I mean? The third thing there about people resisting, whatever they try to impose on them. That's more likely. I mean, the social breakdown is as much engineered as it is organic. So they're gonna mandate that, okay, all your kids are gonna have to learn sodomy at the age of 6 or something like that, and this guy in Virginia trying to seize the guns, that kind of a thing. People will resist, and then they believe for whatever reason that they hold all the high ground because they control the government or at least the bureaucracy. So they're probably inclined to try it. I think they're getting a little bit desperate, frankly. They don't like hearing the word no, and they don't like the idea of progress being stalled. We're nowhere near where they want to take us. So they'll double down and they'll try all kinds of maneuvers, and they certainly have never been shy about lies and bluster. So, but I think if people start digging in their heels and no, that's a bridge too far. My kids are hungry. I'm out on the street. The press won't return my calls. Either it will be isolated pockets of violence like playing whack-a-mole, or there'll be much more radical politics coming in the near future. I don't think it's going to be black shirts and brown shirts fighting in the streets quite yet.
What about brown coats?
Brown coats? Well, God, I hope not.
All right.
I don't want fascism either.
Okay, I got a important question. Do you see China falling apart with its economic / this inferior take over the world economically strategy that's kind of falling apart on different ends of the spectrum? And them taking over ports in other countries, them taking over, creating this pearl necklace or whatever they're doing, Silk Road or whatever they're doing. Do you see China finally start to fracture?
Yeah, I do actually. I think Hong Kong. I mean, obviously they could overrun Hong Kong, and as a financial center, Hong Kong is probably being eclipsed by Shanghai already. But their credit Ponzi schemes. I mean, they're a corrupt country. It's a circus there. These people, the idea that they play this 400-year long game, 4D chess. Well, if that was the case, no wonder you need communism. I mean, if you had a democracy, the people would have thrown the bums out, 100 years ago. Like, they don't run the place well. It's just a circus. Any good ideas they have, they pretty much stole from us. The last ones we got from them were gunpowder and chow mein.
Yeah, okay.
That's about it.
Hey, who were the first to bring gunpowder into Japan via China?
Oh, you're gonna make me say the Portuguese, aren't you?
It was the Portuguese that brought over gunpowder to Japan.
That's
Introduced
right.
gunpowder to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now let me ask. What was the other one I asked, Lord Humongous, that I wanted to ask you? I already asked you the political one for the big 2020. Okay, what do you see happening on YouTube? Do you see Mike Martin's disappearing? And BitTubers is not that bad. Have you been on there recently?
I have. I've taken a peek over there. Yeah.
Okay, I went on BitTubers today. I put up a video 7 hours ago.
Yeah.
And the one on YouTube has less views.
Wow.
So here it is.
Well,
I'm on BitTubers. I'm on right now, so you guys can see what it looks like. I could stream from there. So guys, don't get worried. On BitTubers, I could stream also if it ends up going down on YouTube, if the channel goes down. So I have 8 hours ago, 584 views with 54 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's enormous. For me to get so I have the same video on YouTube, and it has like 490 views with 11,300 subscribers.
Yeah, they just need to stop doing this. They're not convincing anyone. They're not changing anybody's minds, and their attempts to deplatform. I'm convinced. Obviously, they're not run on economics, right? It's just politics, 100% politics. Mm-hmm. Get woke, go broke. YouTube was as much as anything. They saw in their clever little minds a method of social control, just like Facebook. Mm-hmm. And in the end, it's just going to fall flat. Because the fact is, you can collect data on people all you want, but most people's lives are just not that interesting. Can you imagine the guy watching people's TikTok and Facebook videos and stuff like that for 12 hours a day? God, I'd probably shoot myself. Yeah, I can't imagine what they expect to get out of it. But YouTube isn't making them any money. So if it's a method of social control, all they've done is create a whole bunch of alternatives that they don't have any control over.
Interesting. Okay, do you see oil go to $60-65 a barrel next year?
It could.
If there's an Arab Spring.
If there's an Arab Spring, if they get a ramp up war with Japan, if the U.S. dollar goes down instead of up, like I kind of expect it to, yeah, it could hit 65 U.S. All kinds of things could make it go there.
Okay. And what do you see happening in the lumber business? I know he had a bad year last year and this year with the mass. It's not I know you're in the lumber industry, but it's not you per se that's the problem. It's the friggin' government controls. What do you see happening next year with lumber? Do they have a chance? Does lumber have a chance, or is China going to keep stealing lumber from Portuguese Africa?
Well, they've been doing that anyway. They've had an insatiable desire for it. If the U.S. consumer is able to keep those container ships coming over from there, if tariffs get lifted or get reduced, if they actually have a trade deal, it could actually get worse. One of the problems we had in our business is we had a really big spike in lumber prices towards the end of 2018, like really big. And the stumpage, the revenue, the royalty that the Crown gets from the forestry companies is based on that, and it's kind of on a trailing indicator. So stumpage, it's called, is way too high. So the price of logs was ridiculous most of last year, even though prices had gone down again. So that's part of the squeeze. And also, I have a second cousin who's a timber broker on the island. He usually does a lot of business. He's only doing about a third of his usual business because there was a big a high wind blowdown event in Eastern Europe. And so there has been a lot of European spruce going into China from the other direction.
Okay.
So that glut is just about played out. So he thinks things should actually go back to kind of normal in 2020. We had similar problems in the 90s when the softwood lumber agreement expired. The U.S. put on a 27% tariff. We had an NDP, 2 turns of an NDP government.
Oh, that bankrupted all the small businesses.
Oh, it killed us dead. Yeah, there was a $12 cubic meter super stumpage to set up some forest renewal business so they could give jobs to tree planters and whoever else. It's job creation stuff. It was a really, really bad time to invest any capital in British Columbia in forestry, mining, in anything. We basically missed the whole 1990s boom here. Mm-hmm. It was just dead in the water. So I think things could actually be fairly normal, and I think the way this place is run, and now that Trudeau 2.0 is back in power and it's a minority government, I could see the Canadian dollar slowly crawling back down to 65 cents, maybe even 60. So all those things help exports.
So we're gonna have a great no. Well, it's gonna help exports, but for small businesses like myself, for me to sell to the United States would have been incredibly good for me with an attractive low dollar, but unfortunately the Canadian government for small businesses like myself that ship to the United States have to pay a $14 convenience fee just to get it across the border now, and that's without tracking.
Yeah. Now is that $14 US or Canadian?
Canadian.
Yeah, well then hopefully the Canadian
for
dollar
a playing card like this, a magic card. I sell magic cards. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you told me about that.
To put this card in the mail, I got to pay $14 now because they have on the Canadian side, not the American side. They could scan it to make sure that there's only a letter in there, but nothing like a gift or anything else in there.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is silly. Well, maybe the dollar will go to 50 cents. If that's the case, then there'll definitely be a difference. Your American customers will happily pay the price. I think the U.S. dollar is going to go up anyway. The world is actually short of dollars right now.
What's going to happen tomorrow?
Believe it or not.
Tomorrow, the repo, they're going to be removed, I don't know, $100 billion from the repo markets tomorrow morning.
Are they pulling back on that already?
Tomorrow, yeah. In a couple of hours, they're going to be pulling it back.
Oh, boy. Everybody get your helmets on. I think they're just bluffing. I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, the Bank of Canada has told banks here to start increasing their capital requirements. So that's a fire alarm as far as I know. That's not a good sign. They're expecting some defaults and insolvencies and such down in the States. Well, the kind of debts that they run up. I mean, they just say whatever. Okay. But people kind of have to. They still need U.S. dollars to buy and sell virtually every commodity in the world. So they know that. They take advantage of it. They've gotten complacent. But I could see a lot of offshore money flooding into the U.S. dollar over the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can see that too. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Someone's messaging me. I'm just reading messages on Skype and on the message board here, and just checking things at the same time while we're talking at this exact same time and running the show.
Oh, sure.
And just making sure everything's going smooth here. So 2020 predictions. What do you predict going to happen for 2020? Just randomly, what do you think is going to happen? 2020. What do you see happening?
I had a list here, so I'll just go to the list. Go. And I'll just rattle off. Okay. Repos will end up being the fire hose that keeps the U.S. stock market afloat, interest rates down, and boomer redemptions from crashing everything, because you got a lot of retirees are going to start drawing down the stock market just at a time when they need it to go up. So I think it may not be exactly intended as QE, but obviously something's terribly wrong in interbank relations. So I think they're going to buy short-term treasuries until something blows up or comes crashing down. I think that's going to wind up being the way that they do it, whether they want to or not. I think Trudeau will move the Liberal Party to the center to try to stay in power. He could stay left, but the NDP has just got a bad smell to it. I think he's going to try to steal votes back from the Conservative Party. I mean, he lost virtually all of his support in Western Canada in this last election. So the electoral map could start looking like 1993 again. You know what I mean? Like it could be solid green reform in the West all the way to the Ontario border, and the BQ has also grown strength. So I could see that happening. I think Maxime Bernier will be like Reform Party 2.0, and the Bloc Québécois will probably gain strength. Plus, and traditionally, and it has happened in the past too, when jobs are tight, debt is high, and stuff like that, there's going to be anti-immigrant sentiment. And Rosie Barton and the CBC, people will just ignore her. They're not. Nobody cares what they have to say. Toronto Liberals are just not relevant anywhere else. So I think the People's Party and the Bloc Québécois will gain strength. The Conservative Party, now that Scheer's gone, I think the Red Tories will take over, and they'll just try to arm wrestle the Liberals for the center. But the center in this country is getting to be considerably to the left. They're just going to lose more and more support. I don't think they're. I mean, Canada is virtually ungovernable anyway. There's just so many different regions.
Well, look what happened today in the vote, the Brexit vote.
Yeah, the Brexit vote is a perfect example. I could see at the end of it that England is all by itself. I think they'll let Scotland go. Wales will probably stay, but I would not be surprised if England frees itself from its own empire and says, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, Scotland is a socialist basket case. You know, they'll stay in the EU before anything else. England wants out. And
I think Ireland will want out too. Still, I think Ireland is so bad right now. Their housing situation in Dublin. You know, we've been talking about this on the show for years now.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Ireland wants out. I think Ireland wants its own, complete from the EU and complete from the UK.
Yeah, well, I would not be surprised if the IRA starts attacking targets in Ireland, just because of the displacement going on there and the fact that people are living on the streets. What effectively is the difference between the Irish elite letting their people be homeless and, you know, English aristocracy taking it over and letting them be homeless? You know, you don't want a potato famine 2.0. I think there will be violence against the Irish government by the IRA. You know, I mean, they were left wing as hell too. I mean, it wasn't about freedom and democracy, that's for sure. You know, you always had the English to kick around, right? Well, if the English actually leave the UK, which to my mind is what's going to happen, England will declare independence from its own empire. It will just say, you know what, we're out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I could see the UK fracturing along those lines. But Brexit will happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Boris will make it happen. It's going to happen. If the economy crashes, you know, they could blame it on the European Central Bank, just like Trump. Trump could blame Jerome Powell and the that bank that cannot be named for the economy crashing. He could blame the Democrats. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been prepping his base for this to happen all year too. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, the economy's going to crash if the Fed doesn't do something. The economy's going to crash because the Democrats want to push impeachment instead of whatever. He's covered. He's got 6 alibis. He's covered 6 ways from Sunday. Politicians, right? You know what I mean? Like, politicians just surf those waves anyway. If things go bad, they blame the other guy. If things go good, they take credit even if they've been in office for 5 days, mm-hmm. right? It doesn't matter. We're talking about forces and economies that are enormous. They're just so much bigger than these people that occasionally get to steer the tanker once in a while. Mm-hmm. I think housing prices will hang in midair. Foreign buyers, I mean, or at least the prospect of foreign buyers will keep prices up. The little people, you know, the ones who can, or the ones who are fed up, they'll evacuate. They'll use that incoming capital, or they'll use the canceling of the, the stress test. Apparently, Bill Morneau is talking about modifying the stress test now. They need to keep those prices up. There is so much equity and so much home equity tied up in those prices now. If they go down, there's going to be mass bankruptcy. Consumer insolvencies are up, but I mean, they would grow to a tsunami. So I think they're going to do whatever they have to keep those prices up. Toronto will be a ghost town. You know,
well, it's eventually, because I see abandonments of retail spaces, because who's going to pay? Remember that article, or that one I covered the other day, where the guy's paying $209,000 a year for property tax.
Yeah, no,
For
it's
a
too much.
one-story restaurant, just a normal restaurant.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing major, you know.
Yeah, yeah, old established businesses that were, customer favorites, that were fixtures of the community, that were anchors of neighborhoods, are closing down and going away. Well, when the soul leaves a place like that, it's just a matter of time till the body starts to rot and stink, right? I mean, that's all. If Toronto is just going to be empty condos owned by outsiders, well, they could freaking have it. You know what? I mean, all those people leave Toronto. They could find another place in Canada with better weather and build another city. Like it doesn't have to be that big of a deal. I understand you live in the neighborhood, you have nostalgia, but these people have ruined everything. And sometimes you got to realize that you got one life, and you can't spend it hoping. Like Robert Kiyosaki said something that I thought was pretty smart. He said, hope is not a strategy. There are a lot of people hanging on by their fingernails, hoping the cavalry will arrive, right? And put it all right. I don't think it's going to happen. The ones who can leave well, the ones who can't will start burning cars. You know what I mean? Like it's going to get to the point that there's going to be, it won't be the full scale boogaloo, but yes, political violence, because of economics and the sentiment against immigration, and just the fact that you've got these two distinct groups now in the Western world that really don't like each other and see any kind of compromises, surrender on their end. It's an impasse. I don't know who's going to bring the compromise to make things work again, but or you need much more competent bureaucrats.
Guys, just so you know, over on BitTubers, I'm going to put up my video I have of a collection of VHS tapes of the LA riots. I have an hour and 25 minutes, an hour and a half of LA riots not live, but coverage from the 90s there. So on my BitTubers channel, I'm actually going to throw this up there in the next day or two for you guys. This is all the riots from I don't want to play it here on YouTube, because I don't want to put this on YouTube. They're just going to flag it. They'll just take down the video, but I'm not playing it. I'm just showing you clips from it. And this is the 1990, was it 91? I have it saved here in my file folder here of my own VHS tapes that I've had. And I've made a compilation over the last week for you guys. Here it is. And it's an hour and a half of the LA riots. Anyways, because you just brought up social or injustice. Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up, that it's coming to the BitTubers. I don't think YouTube will like me putting that up on YouTube.
They might not. I mean, if you're being observed by an algorithm or a person or whatever by now, then you probably want to be careful, at least for a while. Although December 10th came and went, and here you are, and here most channels are. I haven't actually seen any removed, so I don't know.
Ironically, I was subscribed to 148 channels. Now I only have like 70.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, a lot have disappeared then.
Because it says 70 channels on my subscription list. I'm like, wait, I have like 140 channels I'm subscribed to.
Yeah, I've got at least that myself. I'll have to check it.
Yeah, check it again. You'll be surprised how many went away.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, Brexit will happen. I think Italy will be next. Italy has changed its government quite a bit since World War II, but definitely in the last several years. I think they'll re-elect Salvini, and I think the Italian exit will move forward. Because at least you've got anti-migrant violence is going to escalate, and I think politicians will be included this time. Mm-hmm. People are getting to.
I see Greece. Greece tried to do this whole thing too. With their golden, what was it called? The Golden Dawn or something they had?
The Golden Dawn, yeah. It was a nationalist movement. Of course, they call it a far-right, fascist, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Who cares what those people think anymore? It's just that it's the trouble is they want a national, they want a national socialism. That's what they want. Maybe it is fascist. I don't know. Yeah, no, they want their government goodies to continue, and they're starting to blame it on foreigners coming in. But the problem is that the foreigners coming in is just accelerating the problem. These countries are demographic basket cases. You know what I mean? And they're not replacing themselves. You've got cities and towns emptying out. I mean, that's probably part of the reason why, there's parts of Europe that are cheap to live in, because there are no people living there anymore. They've been abandoned. The women don't want to get married and have kids, and the men are doing whatever they're doing, and everyone wants to work for the government because the benefits are so good. And it can't happen. Part of the reason these yellow vest things are going on in France is not because they want freedom and independence and French identity, although that's certainly part of it. But a lot of it is because pension reforms. The French government is insolvent, and it needs to raise money in order to pay for all these benefits that other politicians promised in previous generations, and the bill is coming due.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot when Libya cut them off, because Libya was giving 80% of their revenues to France. Yeah. And then Libya said, we're not giving you 80% any more of our money because this is blackmail, extortion. Yeah. So after Gaddafi, stopped sending money to France, paying off the French, I guess, they took him out, and it's been an absolute disaster for the French because their revenue isn't coming anymore from Northern Africa.
Yeah, the only thing they're getting from Northern Africa now is North Africans. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, and they're trying to scold their people into accepting them and welcoming them and adapting and integrating and everything else, and it's not going to fly. It's not going to happen. Europe is not going to disappear because these people will run out of money long before they run out of Europeans. I'm hoping it doesn't become another volcano of blood. We've seen enough of those in the last 200 years, but man, they gotta. Politics is going to get more extreme. It's just going to happen, and especially when women and children are getting raped and killed on the streets and stuff like that, and the government's response is nothing. It's to scold the people who report it.
Right.
Not smart. That's not going to fly. Like I said on Wednesday, I'm not taking the chip from idiots like that.
No,
not happening.
What about your friend?
We're all going to have to take the chip.
What about your friend, the Greta girl? Why the hell isn't she going over to Mozambique and saving 90% of the country's trees?
It's only wealthy blue-eyed people. I mean, wealthy liberal blue-eyed people. That's it. She's over there to get money and influence from them. That's all. She doesn't care. This isn't about climate. She has a Tesla. It had single-use plastic wrappers all over the floor, and she was complaining about traveling on a German railway apparently this week, and they had her in first class, and she complained about it being crowded. And it wasn't crowded. Mm-hmm. She's a spoiled, rotten, manipulated kid. Her parents are both radical leftists. Her mom was a fashion model or something like that. She's fairly famous in Sweden, apparently. And I think she's just doing it because she wants attention from her parents. Mm. You know what I mean? And Swedish education is increasingly woke and increasingly weird. Mm-hmm. And I could see a lonely 16-year-old kid who's a little bit slow or autistic or whatever her deal is, doing all this just to try to get attention from mom and dad. I don't think this has anything to do with saving the planet. I don't even think it's about money. I think she's playing along with it because she just wants some love from her parents. Mm-hmm. And in the end, I feel sorry for the kid. And the people that are showing her face and jumping up and down and trying to use her as a battering ram on us, I have no compassion for them at all. I don't care what happens to those people
and she
anymore.
won Times low roller scratches saying, I can't believe Time chose her as Person of the Year.
Yeah, not the Hong Kong demonstrators who are actually risking their lives for freedom. Yeah, someone pointed that out, and I tend to agree. Yeah, no, Time magazine is a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's shame on them for doing that. She needs her mom and dad, and she needs to go home and have a normal life. She does not need to be put through this. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Any other predictions you want to throw out there?
No, I think we've gone through them all here. I'm not. Repos, Trudeau, housing prices, the big gay loony going down. Sorry, guys. That's what I call it because they had that rainbow one last year. And Brexit. Yeah, no, that's about it. That's how I see it playing out. God, we'll see. We'll talk in a year, but I think things will. I think things are going to hang in suspended animation for another year. I think the powers that be will do whatever they have to do to keep them
Western
on.
Canada Wexit. Western Canada Wexit. Do you see him growing in popularity?
I actually see it dying down, especially if that pipeline goes through. If they approve another pipeline, apparently it's been hung up in a court challenge. It all depends on Trudeau. If Trudeau shuts down the court challenge and says, no, leave these people alone so they can go to work, I can see him moving more to the center to try to get back support in Western Canada. Otherwise, what is Alberta really going to do? If they did separate, we're talking civil war,
Right.
and you won't like that. No one is going to like that.
Okay.
Those are ugly. I mean, all kinds. You will not believe what your governments are capable of when they want what you have. I mean, we all know that. So it might fester and it might grow. It could be the nucleus of a new. I think Maxime Bernier basically is Reform Party 2.0. I've said that already. I could see the next election. I think Trudeau will be in power all of 2020. A black swan could change all of these predictions, of course, but I think he will limp along through 2020. I don't think he'll make it through 2021, but.
All right, I got the thing open here. How I Escaped the Cult of Mike Martins by Supreme Canon. Guys, this is not the Supreme Canon.
Yeah.
So here it is. Get out while you can. So there's a blog that's going on here in response to Mike Martins. What Mike got right and wrong. Wow, someone's got a lot of time to write this. And then there's a new one that says here why I wasn't on trends in the housing market.
Yeah. Have you heard from Raven since that article came out about this guy interviewing him?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't heard from the Raven. No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay,
yeah.
howdy. You're all probably wondering why I wasn't on the Mike Martins trends in the housing market last night, as I have been receiving loads of messages. The thing is that I actually did call into the show after the real Supreme Canon called in. It's just that Mike didn't pick up his Skype. Here's a screenshot to prove it. So here it is, waiting for Mike to so this is just me to accept the invitation. Oh, there's a picture of the Raven here.
Yeah.
Here's the proof I called Mike while I was still streaming. I am currently in negotiations with Mike for a second scheduled call-in if Mike in the night, which airs Saturdays at 9 p.m. Vancouver time. So stay tuned for more updates. Also, stay tuned for my exclusive interview with the Raven Unplugged, which will be uploaded on my blog at 6 a.m. Vancouver time tomorrow morning. Until then, stay safe, everyone. And if I see you tomorrow when I'm Raven with the Raven Unplugged.
Yeah. Well, Raven's been on video chat with you.
Mm-hmm.
So screenshots are easy to find.
Yeah, this is pretty hard, man. How I escaped the cult of Mike Martins.
Yeah. Well, when's this cult gonna start, man? Like I've already bought the Kool-Aid. Like I'm in. Let's do this.
But what the funny thing is?
We're gonna take over the Azores. I need some good weather in my life, man. Let's do this.
The funny thing is, let's say one day, like somebody wants, I got to do a job with somebody, or I'm investing in some or I'm doing something, right?
Right.
They want to look me up. Who is this guy, Mike Martins? They check me up. Like they see all this crap. They're like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow, and he's a cult leader too. Well, that means he knows something about raising large amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
That won't necessarily be a problem. I mean, business is dog eat dog. So that in and of itself will probably, I think it would be neutral.
Yeah. All right, Supreme buddy. Yeah, I want to thank you for coming on, giving us your 43 minutes there.
Oh, God, 43 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
we got the Raven on, too. Okay, let's see if we get the Raven on.
Go get that man on.
God bless you.
God bless you. Talk soon, guys. Bye.
So the Supreme Canon, the Raven's on there. Oh, my God, and where's the Raven? Is he going to pick up? Raven, pick up the damn phone. I see you in the comments. Come on, Raven. There it is. He probably heard me. Hello?
I can't really talk, Mike.
Oh. Are you in trouble?
Can you see out the screen there?
Yeah, I'm going to put the screen up. Can I put it up or no?
Look. No, 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 no. Don't put it up. Don't say anything.
No,
I
I'm not saying
can't
nothing.
talk.
I'm not saying nothing. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know you were
can't.
working. I'm sorry, bud.
That's all right.
I just wanted to ask you 2020 predictions. That's all.
Populism,
Keep,
lower interest rates.
you
Trump will
see,
be elected.
yeah.
I see a lot more populism, a lot more riots. Um, uh, I got very gloomy, doomy predictions. Nobody wants to hear those.
Well, we need to because everything's been decent so far. Maybe you could give us a little bit of the dark side.
The dark side. Well, I see pensions failing. I see people going hungry. Um, I see a lot of defaults, a lot more riots, a lot of populism around the country, around the world. I see rates going down in the U.S. another probably another 50 basis points before the election. Trump will throw those in to try and boost things up. Ours will go down for one or two, probably 50 basis points in Canada. It'll slowly go down. You'll see digital currency start to sweep across. Um, there's lots. I think a lot's probably, but I see it getting harder and harder. I just see it. I see the stock market going up to 29,000 Dow next year.
Do you see uh social credit scores sweeping across Canada and America?
Took my mom out today for a ride. I showed her the cameras they're putting on the streets now in our city. She's asking me why would they put those cameras there. I said, well, your guess is as good as mine, but it's probably going to be social credit at some point. They're going to tie everything in. It's happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Agenda 30. What's that?
What do you see happening? Do you see us going into negative interest rates in 2020, or it's too early?
No, too early. Yeah, no, that'll be later. I don't know what's going to happen the end of this year with that repo market and that big injection. There's a lot of talk about bad things might happen there. I think Deutsche Bank went under. I think it's Deutsche Bank that's. Well, I probably can't say that on your channel, eh?
That's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's probably Deutsche Bank.
It's Hill Dog. You
I
can't
heard rumors
say.
it was. No, no, she's not going to be. No, she's not coming up. Michelle Obama, no. Oprah, no. Be Trump all the way.
Yeah.
Trump's work is not done.
Well, you can't do
Trump
it all in 4
Sanders
years.
got
He needs
lots of
at
plans.
least another 4 years.
Well, they got to get the negative. They got to get the digital currencies up and running. The credit score, the social credit is not up and running. All that's got to be tied in with 5G. This is their plan. You know, whether or not you want to admit it, that's their plan. Everybody talks about politics and this. That's all smoke and mirror crap. Look at the big picture down the road. Look what these guys are trying to do. I could care less about liberals or conservative. I could care less about all that. I don't care. Look at the big picture. You know, what are they trying to do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the end game, right?
So, digital currencies. Yeah, what's the end game? They've got an end game. I don't think it involves a lot of us though. I think we're not going to be around for it.
But what I
And it'll be a food issue.
okay, my question to you is
What's that?
oh wait, I want to ask you since you brought up food. Price of food, do you see it spiking or just kind of going up $500 a year?
You're talking in Canada. There is 4%. They said it's going up. CPI is going up all around the world because of it. What they say? Sugar, onions in India, the pork, China, Africa's out of rice. Zimbabwe, they're out of corn. I mean, by January, they're gonna have 3 million starving people in Zimbabwe by January. It's all over the world. Look at the cod. They shut down cod fishing in the West Coast, first time in history, and now they got birds dying because of it. story after story after story. What are we doing to this planet, and how is it sustainable? The amount of people we have. I know we differ on that number, but so you guys see, look at the farmers in the United States. Our food sources are really getting hammered. So now food's going to get more expensive. Currencies are going to weaken. It's not a good combination. That's why we all buy gold and silver, eh? Well, you know what, Mike? I bought some more gold this week. I showed Lord Humongous on Skype. I bought another 4,200 in gold, as much as I can get. That's all I'm doing now is buying gold and silver.
Yeah, I don't blame
Not
you,
buying
man. I don't blame you. It's
the currencies. Goldman Sachs says gold's going to go up 9% next year.
and
I think it's going to go up a little bit more.
and they're projecting oil to go up too. Oil to $60-65 a barrel if there is another Arab Spring.
Yeah, like Supreme said, or if there's a war. But I don't know. I see. You know what? I see a very violent 2020.
You do?
Very violent. Yeah, I do. I see a very violent 2020. Whether or not Trump gets elected, it's going to be violent if he does, violent if he doesn't. I don't know what Brexit's going to do, but I'm landing in Dominican the day before that's getting settled. January 30th, I'll be heading to Dominican. So I think it's the 31st that Brexit gets settled.
Okay. And what else? You see the vote today for Brexit?
No.
The Conservatives won
no,
like 100, like 200 votes more.
Yeah, I did see. You know what I saw? I was looking at India, all the rioting in India.
Oh yeah. The rioting in India is starting to spark back up there in the central part there.
Oh, it was crazy. It was out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. They had a lot of people there.
What about Mike Banks is calling it organized chaos?
In India?
I think it's just all over the world.
You know what? India, they're going to start diverting their rivers away from Pakistan. They got 6 rivers that 3 Pakistan controls and 3 that India controls, and they're going to start diverting the water away. So yeah.
Well, here's this article I have here that was sent to me from Mozambique, Portuguese Africa. Right here. Chinese killing Mozambican forests. Mozambique, they're going to have a contract, and this contract, I don't even know how it works, but they're taking out 600 million square meters of forests to China, all to China.
Yeah, that was interesting what Supreme was saying about that European forest getting blown down.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I noticed our lumber is a little bit less than what we're grabbing from the West Coast, but
yeah,
I think didn't they have a big spruce beetle problem there, or like some kind of beetle?
Yes, they did, but wasn't that in the late 90s?
I think they're having it right now.
Okay, it's probably happening right now.
I'm sure I think it's happening right now. There are beetle problems there, or whatever.
So how come your friend Greta isn't over there in Mozambique to protect these trees? This is a lot of trees. Look, they're going to take out, it says right here, it's a planned to end in 2029. They're going to take out, watch this. They're going to take out, it was written down here, a total of, I have it here. Hold on, it's just in Portuguese. The 93% of trees they're going to take out from Mozambique, and it's all going to China, and they're going to be there till 2029 clearing out all their trees.
Okay.
That's a big deal. And Mozambique's not a small country.
That was a population.
I think it's about 18 million.
That's lots.
That's a lot of trees, buddy. 600 square.
It is.
I'm not understanding why this is not on mainstream media. If they want us to go green and become more green and less carbon footprint, why are they bringing up this news in the English media saying, look, An entire country is going to be out 98% of their trees, and China's taking all the lumber. Why isn't this on like Western media news?
Why isn't they don't put nothing on the news? Why don't they put the deficit on there? Why don't they put the repo market on there? Why don't they put Trump talking about a big bubble, and if we pop it, it's going to blow up? Well, he doesn't talk about that anymore. He hasn't talked about that in the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. Last 3 years. Why isn't he talking about that? He was talking about it when he was trying to get elected. Nobody talks about that stuff. They ain't gonna talk about nothing. Why don't they talk about Fukushima? Mm-hmm. But they're not gonna. That'll get you a quick ride to being unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mike Banks is saying China is a country that has destroyed their country ecosystem for industry gains, so they've moved to all parts of the world.
Yeah, they're just thinking ahead. But all their water's polluted, everything. I read somewhere that they test 1% of the seafood that comes from China, and of the 1% they test, 65% of that is rejected.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, that's a lot. So you could pretty much say 65% of what they send here is infected. Yeah.
Wow. That's why all these cancers and all these people, back in the 70s and 80s when a child had cancer, they'd have a doctor fly in, examine the child, look at the child, find out what's going on, and try and take notes and stuff. Now, cancer is just like 1 in 3 people have it now. It's like a mainstream thing now. They're massaging the population into believing that it just was undetected back in the day. No, it wasn't. It was always detected. But they're trying to make it seem like it's a normal thing now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? If we get rid of cancer, what's that going to do to our planet? That's too many people. I know you don't believe that, but I think there's too many people. Sorry, Mike.
I don't think there's. I think honestly, I honestly think that. We're under. I don't think we're underpopulated, but I think it's a myth. You know how they're trying to sell us global warming, which you believe in, by the way, and how they try to sell us all this other stuff? I think overpopulation is one of them too. I honestly wholeheartedly believe that overpopulation is another thing they're trying to shove down our throats.
I don't know. There's a lot of people starving all over the world. Maybe we could feed them. But we can't get organized enough to get everything together, and they're just going to have more kids and more kids and more kids, and we're chewing through. We're a finite planet. Eh?
Well, just like Electric Avenue, that song Electric Avenue, right?
Got to take care of it.
Remember that song Electric Avenue?
Yeah.
We're going to rock down to Electric Avenue. Actually. Well, he says it in the song.
Electric Avenue, yeah.
Well, he says in the song, dealing with multiplication, and we can't still feed everyone. And he talks about governments in power basically have no way of controlling, don't have a way or have a plan in place to control the food distribution to the people. Because it's all federalized crap. I think you're going to see a huge branding of federalization of food coming next year.
I think you're going to see a lot of old people who can't make ends meet because there's no interest rate for their fixed income, so they can't survive on what they're making.
So what do? They move
pensions to... are going to be... They starve or they work. You're going to see pensions cut all around the world more and more. You're going to see populism. We don't have, you have, we want what you have. Pitchforks are going to be coming out. You're going to start to see protests in Canada, America, Australia, all over. You're going to see protests everywhere. You think 219 was protests? Wait for 220. And the debts are just going to keep growing and growing and growing. Yeah. I watched that repo market. Something's going on there.
Something's going to happen in a couple hours, bud. Keep your eyes peeled 9:30 and when the market's open tomorrow morning. Keep your eyes peeled on the markets. You're going to see something happen tomorrow morning. I swear to you, something's going to happen. Something big. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's either going to go. It's not looking good.
You're still in silver?
Oh yeah, big time, huge time. Still in silver and gold stocks, tons.
I've been thinking of, yeah, I've been thinking about getting into the junior miners now. I've been buying lots of physical, but I think the junior miners for 2020.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have quite a few. I have like
We'll
8 or
see.
9. I'll send you a screenshot of my junior miners if you want to see them.
Sure, I'll take a look.
Yeah.
I look at them all. Looking for something under $1.
Yeah, under $1, I got quite a few actually. Quite a few.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Raven, I'm gonna let you get.
I was gonna call you. Hey, I was gonna call you and say, you should do a show on predictions.
You were?
Show on predictions.
Well, I do one
Yeah, I
every
was
year
actually
around
gonna
this
tell you
time.
I figured that, but I probably wasn't here last time at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
right. All right.
So,
Anyways, look, I'm gonna let you go back to work, and we will talk soon, I guess. Hello.
okay, sure.
All right. You take care. You stay out of trouble, okay, buddy? Bye.
All right. Good.
So that's the Raven. We're getting some pretty bad connection there with him towards the end. He's breaking up pretty badly there. No problem. We get him on the show from time, pretty much when we come on Mike of the Night, we try to get him on the show to give us a little doom and gloom of what's happening in the world and in the markets and blah, 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 and all that stuff. It's always good to know where things are headed, guys, where things are. But 2020 predictions, let me see if we could have someone else come on the show still. We had the Raven in the comments. We had, so we had the Raven in. We had Supreme Cannon on. We had Jacob on. We had, guys, don't forget to support Lord Humongous. Lord, if you want to leave your PayPal link in the chat there for us, please. And everyone should donate to Lord Humongous $1 to $10 a month, whatever you could afford to, so he could build his house. Believe it or not, it's actually going towards something that's good. Oh, someone's asking me, what do I see happening in the Canadian housing market? I'm actually forecasting more abandonment. 2020, not too much, but in 21, 22, 23, more abandoned, you're going to start seeing abandoned commercial properties, because we were discussing, and I was covering on my channel, what happened with that place that's paying $203,000 a year in property tax. So they got to make about $170,000 a month to make ends meet. So for a restaurant to make that much money to make ends meet, you can't sell the business because no one's going to buy it because you don't make enough money. You're not going to, there's a lot of things. So I'm going to see a lot of, you're going to see a lot of commercial buildings become abandoned because people don't want to pay that much tax. And opening a business is great, but the tax is not, it just doesn't work. And then for housing, I see housing kind of like floating, not going anywhere, not going up, not going down, stagnant, right across. A little bit up, back down, sales up, down, all 2020. Why? Because we're going to keep lowering interest rates, and the more we lower interest rates, the more we can keep this prop. We're going to go into negative territory, so the people that own are going to be rewarded. They're actually going to help get their mortgages paid now when they go into negative interest rates. That means part of their mortgage will get paid. So the people that save will be punished, and the people that borrow will be rewarded. And that's why negative interest rates are very dangerous. Residential and commercial foreclosures, yeah, you will be seeing them. You will be seeing foreclosures, but would it trigger enough to actually have a full-blown crash? There's just too much. They have too much supporting it, too much metal, too much sideways, too much everything, keeping this thing stable from it falling over. This market should have crashed 5 years ago, and it should have crashed 2 years ago, the way it was going. So it should have crashed twice since I've had my YouTube channel predicting this. You know? Someone saying in the comments they should swap pensions into government bonds and up the rates. Man, it's scary, man. It's really scary. Yes, there is bankruptcies coming, but the problem is it's not going to trigger a full-on blown crash because I think there's going to be people on the sidelines that already have enough money to buy 4 or 5 homes to buy them dirt cheap. And I think the people that are connected to property investors and to good real estate agents already have their fingers on 4 or 5 properties ready to go down. You know? Should have, could have, but didn't. So you were wrong twice. Try again. No, I was. It's not that I was wrong. If we were following Business 101, if we're actually following what we were taught in school, the way we were taught about how the economic procedure, from whether you're looking at it from a housing point of view, whether you're looking at in a commodities market, whether you're looking at in different sectors, the problem is what we were taught means nothing. Because we were taught the right way to do things, but we're not following the right way to do things. And I was just going based off what we were seeing here. Now, unaffordability levels are getting to a point where the people that do own are being punished by high property taxes. You know, my mom is lucky. My mom was paying $7,000 a year for property tax in Brampton, Ontario. She said now, from what this statement was saying, if she didn't sell her house, she would be paying almost $8,900 a year for property tax now with the new increase. So for owning, you're going to be punished. How does it work, people? Where is the median? Chronic, yeah, saying, sure, you make excuses. Look at the chart. So, Chronic, come on the show and tell us what you think is going to happen. We've been following charts. I read 200-300 charts a week, looking at different stocks, just looking at things, looking at companies, profiles, their books, their gains, losses, loans, liquidity in the companies and stuff. I look at that all day long. That's all I do. Sometimes I'm in bed. I'm looking at this and I switch back to my YouTube comments. Then I go back and I start looking at, oh, there's this company. Oh, there might be an acquisition. Oh, there might be a buyout. Oh, there's dividend. Doesn't look too bad. Been looking at charts all my life. In the housing charts, you have a huge. Oh, the fake Supreme Cannon's on. The fake Supreme Cannon's trying to call in. So Chronic is saying, no, I don't go deep on public persona, but don't mind making assessments, not giving thumbs up or false credits. Cobra's, Mike, it's all supply and demand. Some places in Canada are more demand than others. No. Yes, okay, yes, you're right about the parts of like Moose Jaw, like you mentioned. No, but supply and demand in Vancouver, no. You have 100 and something thousand empty condos. It's not supply and demand when you have 100,000. So you're displacing 3 people per unit. For every homeless person in LA, in Los Angeles, there's 4 empty apartments. And I'm not trying to say that, oh, Mike, you're going to house these homeless people in these apartments. No, it's not. That's not the point. People are being displaced, and it's causing more and more people to become homeless. Because a majority of these people were paying via their pensions or their checks or whatever they were getting, disability checks. They made enough to pay their rent and live a decent life. But now that housing got out of reach in parts of California, the homelessness has been out of reach too. So you see what I'm saying? It all coincides with each other in the end. Sell everything, cash in 401k, and relocate to Thailand and live like a king. That's what says Indiana Jones says. Wow, I can't believe Indiana Jones is watching this. We got the Lord Humongous saying, fake Supreme, call in. Mike Banks. If I tried enough, I could find criminals who works at the bank, throw them some cash, and get all your bank records, says Mike Banks. Then someone using the name Mike Martin says, cities are short-sighted in allowing it when they squeeze people out. They aren't paying taxes anymore either. Empty condos only pay property taxes if they're getting the property taxes paid, because there's some condos in Vancouver now. There's several thousand condos that are 3 years behind on property tax. Okay. All right. Mike Banks says, Mike Martins needs to get a new name. So comments are going full blast here, guys. We got 143 people. There's somebody asleep at the controls there at YouTube. I shouldn't be getting more than 80 people viewing. So there's someone definitely asleep there. Rent or buy? Rent right now. Because if you buy right now, with the property taxes and home insurance or condo insurance going up, you guys saw what happened when I was doing that video about 50. It's right here. Just so you guys, if you guys want to see it. Oh, we got Eddie Olchek calling in. Eduardo.
Mike in the night. How's it going, man?
Good, good. Thank God you caught me. Okay, predictions for 2020. Go ahead.
I don't have to make any predictions. Agenda 2021, 2030. The government's going to keep implementing all that nonsense, the globalism. They're going to be hitting us hard with all that stuff, and they're going to do anything they can to make it happen, be it moving farmers off the land. We've seen that in the prairies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to... The government and the Elite 33 that control the entire world are going to keep pushing this agenda on us.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is going to push back to a point. In Canada, Alberta, and Saskatchewan will write new constitutions. And all hell's going to break loose. I hope you guys got your guns buried. That's coming down. Stock up on ammo. Hide all your reloading equipment. It's coming.
Okay. Do you see who do you see winning the 2020 election in the United States in 2020?
Oh, Trump, no question.
Okay. Do you see Hill Dog trying to make a comeback?
She's going to come back to a jail.
Woo! Okay, okay. Do you see 5G rolling out across Canada?
Absolutely. It's part of the agenda to control us. It has to happen.
Okay. What do you see happening? What do you expect to happen more likely? A, an earthquake in California. B, EMP attack, or C, crumbling of the electrical grid?
The EMP attack is going to depend on if there is an actual war, and that'll shut things down pretty quick. Earthquakes, I doubt it.
Okay. Okay. Where do you see the price of food going in 2020?
Oh, it's going to keep going up. It's all part of the globalist agenda. You gotta get big, huge corporate farms producing everything, because that's how the globalists make their money, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Zoki saying 2020 prediction, Canada becomes Mexico. No, because in Mexico they don't sell out their housing and land to foreign ownership.
Well, has anyone taken the time to look into the fine print of the was that USMCA, whatever thing that was, between Canada, US, and Mexico? We've given up a lot of our sovereignty because of that.
Yeah, but the problem is I saw it was like 790 pages long.
That's part of the tricks, right? Who the hell's going to read it?
Yeah.
Hey, go back to 9/11. The Patriot Act, 435 pages, I believe.
Yeah, that's very conservative, 400 pages. That's actually not that bad.
And they had it out within, 2 weeks after 9/11?
Yeah.
So when has government ever produced anything that quick?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm just a conspiracy theorist, right?
No, you're not. You're just some guy, hanging out and just on the Mike and the Night Show.
Yeah. And what's a Building 7?
What's that? Is that New York too? I don't know what that is. I never heard of that. All right, okay, let's get on to other stuff here. So now let me ask you, very importantly. Look, okay, Greta, why the hell isn't she not in Mozambique? I don't know if you were on the show earlier, but I got a message here from somebody in Parliament from the Portuguese, the Mozambique government. Okay, the article's in Portuguese because it's from their local paper. China is engulfing, translated, China is swallowing forests in Mozambique, and they are going to be taking 93% of all the trees in Mozambique by 2029. Why the heck isn't Greta over there saving like 600 million square meters of trees?
Again, Mike, you got to remember the 33 people that rule the West. They don't care.
But they keep shoving this Green Deal down the thing. Why isn't this on the news? Mozambique's not a small country. Why aren't they on that? Why isn't this on the Western news to tell people, hey, you want to be green? Stop China from stealing or taking 600 million square meters of trees.
Mike, the media in Canada has been controlled, in the last 40 or 50 years, 100%? We just haven't figured it out until recently. And the new Green Deal that the Democrats are pushing, who's making all the money off of that one? Follow the money.
Yeah.
The banksters are making money off the Green New Deal. That's why they're pushing it. It's all globalism, my friend.
But if they keep crying about green, like I'm just talking about this whole green movement. If they keep talking about this in the West, why aren't they protecting Africa? Because Africa's a big deal when it comes to like our oxygen and all that other stuff that come from these trees. Why are they allowing China, who's like 7,000 miles away, to come in and steal 97% of their trees and take a lot of their beach land to create fake islands in the middle of the South China Sea? What the heck is going on?
Well, if they're creating islands in the South China Sea, it's probably to get the 200-mile UN protection zone around those islands, and then they claim all the oil that's below those seas, probably.
Interesting. Pashka, thanks for the $1.99 coffee, morning coffee with Mike. Someone just super chatted me at $1.99. All right, continue. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Yeah, so the Chinese, they know there's oil down there. They figure, okay, let's build an island, put some people on it. Boom. We'll take 200 miles of this whole ocean. It's ours now. Who's going to debate it? Who's going to push up against it? They've built islands close to the Philippines. The Philippines are pissed off. That's all for the oil there and the shipping lanes and that, right?
Yes.
It's all globalism, people. We're just sheep. We just don't realize it yet.
Mm-hmm. So somebody's saying that China planted 66 billion trees in 13 provinces. I don't think you could fit 66 billion anything in any province.
Well, what's the source of that? Who did the count?
66 billion is just too big of a number. The 66 billion. That's someone. It's by Kolke in the comments. Leave us a link. If you got a link, I'll open it. I'll open the link. 66 billion trees. That's a lot of trees, man. I don't think you could fit 66 billion anything in anything. Like I don't think you could fit anything like 66 billion of worth of. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Whatever. It's a big country. I'm sure they got room. But yeah, they've been suffering a little bit from environmentally. They've created deserts in certain areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know they had a drought this year.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
What do
had
you think the price of pork went up?
30,000 rivers dry up or something like that.
No, it hit the farming communities, and then food production was lowered. And remember, there because of why they're saying, "Oh, we're not going to buy any pork" and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that came to a crashing halt because Australia also had a drought, and they're killing off a lot of cattle and pork, and food's going to go up. It has to go up because of those two droughts. Australia, and then you look at the wet year we had here in North America. There's propane shortages because not able to dry the corn or other grains that were grown here in Ontario. Here in southern Ontario, half the fields that have corn on it, they're still standing.
Really?
Really?
What happened?
Well, spring came really, really late and it was really wet. They couldn't plant in time. And then fall showed up and it was really wet again and they couldn't harvest in time. And the crops actually, normally the first week of July you can get fresh corn.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh sweet corn, right? This year I wasn't able to buy it till the second week of August.
Oh, okay. So there was a holdback on that.
Yeah, so they planted it late. Wasn't the best year for growing, and then you can't harvest. And wasn't just Ontario though. I heard it was into Quebec and the Midwest. That's why we had the propane shortages. There's still propane shortages. They got to dry so much of the crop, right?
Right.
Otherwise it goes bad.
So you predict food prices going up. Do you see oil going to 60, 65 bucks a barrel?
No, we got so much oil, it's ridiculous. Oil, it's an abiotic relationship. The earth produces it. All the oil wells that were supposedly dry, they come back to them, and guess what? They're still pumping.
Yeah.
Look what they do in Russia. They cut down the capacity out of each oil well, so it's just constantly flowing. They've got oil wells there that have been pumping for 40, 50 years already, nonstop.
Okay. So what do you see happening with 5G? We already discussed. We just discussed the American elections. We discussed the. What do you see happening in the housing markets?
I don't know. Well, housing has always been supply and demand here locally in Toronto. As long as we got people coming in, and they are still coming in huge numbers, that demand will still be there. So I can see a small increase or stabilization, but we are so long overdue for a crash. We haven't had a price correction since 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, we had a price correction in 82 when interest rates went up to like 18 to 20% for a couple months.
Right.
And before that, it was 1971, 71, 72. And then there's a bit of a correction around 79, 80.
Then I remember when gold spiked in 81, 82 because of the interest rates just went through the roof. I don't know if you remember that, but so we got
in 81. That was the only time in my life I was ever out of work for about 3 weeks.
Yeah. We got
this year.
Hold on a second. We got here Ziki Zaki stating here in the comments, saying 2020 prediction, European immigrants are going back to Europe. That is very true. I don't know, Ed, if I talked to you about this, we were talking, if you remember, that my friend is a ticket processor in one of the bigger airports there in Toronto, and he says he's processing more one-way tickets to Europe with European people not coming back to Canada.
I think the cost of living is a lot lower in Europe than it is here.
If some parts, yeah. But he's saying a lot of people from Greece, Italy, Portugal, Spain, they're all moving back. They sold their property here in Canada. The majority of them say, I sold my house here. I'm not going to pay rent here. It's too expensive. There's nothing for me here. I got to go back to Europe.
Well,
So
they do have a better lifestyle. I'll give them that.
yeah, so I think that's what's happening. People are giving up the American Canadian dream to move back to Europe and to live the better lifestyle, I guess, the European lifestyle.
But here's the thing I can tell you. I was in Slovenia 2016, summer 2016. I've got cousins there. They're just getting married. They're only making €10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a decent wage for one of the guys is he's a licensed heating and air conditioning guy.
Mm-hmm.
And very talented. It's no slouch. 10, €11. And half of that stuff is being done on the down low because taxes are high there too.
Right.
And they're only having one kid. They can't afford more. I got another cousin. He should be married. And he says, well, I'm not going to bring a kid into this world. And he's working as a machine operator on a vertical boring machine. He's getting like less than €9.5 an hour.
Right.
So that's like $15 an hour here for skilled labor. That's insane.
Right. But you could go like in Europe and parts of Europe you could go pretty far with that much money.
Real estate's pretty pricey. It's almost up to our levels, I'd say.
Well, there's some pretty cheap
Food
real
is a
estate you can
bit
pick up in
less.
Italy, some cheap real estate in Spain and Portugal. There's still some places you could still buy in, right?
Well, again, these guys were not living in the big cities. They were outside in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only reason why they're able to survive is because they do grow a lot of their own food.
Mm-hmm. They do.
They still have their own vineyards. They still have a few cattle.
They still
couple
they still
pigs.
produce. They still produce. There's a lot of people still using their land to produce, right?
Yep, and that's going to have to come here soon too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at all the paper that's been printed, you know, if you think you got $100,000 of cash in the bank and it's worth something, you can spend $10, go buy in a Monopoly game, and you got the same worth.
Yeah, the same value. Any other big predictions for 2020 you want to share with us?
The gun ban. They're gonna grab all their guns. It's coming.
Okay.
Bury your guns, people.
And what do you see happening with the auto sector?
What auto sector?
Woo!
Here's a good one for you.
Ah,
The GM plant is closing. I think it's this week or next week, and that's for good. The one in Oshawa. That plant is fully modernized plant, less than 15 years old. Trudeau was out in Quebec City back in, I think it was August, meeting with the big unions, QP and all the other auto worker unions and all that. You know what those guys were proposing?
Mm.
They said the government should buy or take control of the General Motors plant and keep all the union employees employed and keep building those cars.
why would they want to federalize automotive? Everything's already federalized. Your car's going to be federalized now? They're going to be putting cameras in your car to film everything you do.
Yeah. Well, not in my cars. I got older cars.
Yeah.
Still got an 87 Buick Regal. It's got to come back on the road soon.
I thought you drove a Gremlin.
No, I never owned a Gremlin.
Oh, okay. All right. No biggie. No biggie. All right. Anyways, I'm going to let you go now, and I'm going to see if I could get another person on the phone before I get off the show here.
Agenda 2021-2030. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Thanks, Eddie. We'll keep in touch, okay?
Yep. Love the show.
Take
Keep
care,
it
brother.
up.
Bye.
Bye.
That's my man, Eduardo. And who else we got? Let's see if we could get... trying to call UEC. He's not picking up the phone. UEC. Trying to give him a call. He messaged me a few seconds ago. And he's not picking up the phone. There's a fake call coming in. I'm not going to entertain it. I'm not going to entertain it. I'm not going to entertain prank calls tonight, guys. Sorry. I'm not going to entertain. So one thing I actually... Again, I'm not going to be entertaining fake calls tonight, guys. Please. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys here. So... Okay. So I'm getting bombarded by a fake Skype user. All right, guys, here's my Patreon. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, $1 a month, that's $12 a year. And there it is, guys. No, it's winding down. It's late. It's getting. I'm tired, and I was sick for 2 straight days. I got 21 Patreon supporters. I want to get to 25 by Christmas. $1 a month, guys. Don't forget to shoot me some spare change in PayPal, and I'm on BitTubers. Let me leave you a link for BitTubers, guys, too. There it is, BitTubers. Don't forget to hit me up. And guys, don't forget to hit up Lord Humongous. Also, he's on Patreon. I'm getting a lot more views on here than I am on YouTube now. For subscribers to view ratio is just absolutely phenomenal on BitTubers in comparison. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, God. Yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. And emerging markets. Government has to stop money laundering foreign criminals before housing market gets corrected. That's true. Mike Banks has a point. There's $200 billion of laundered money in Canada. That shouldn't be happening, because if it was me doing it, I'd be doing a penitentiary sentence right now. If that was me laundering money, I'd be doing a penitentiary sentence, no questions asked. That'd be all over the news, and they'd ruin my name and my family, and they'd ruin everything ever, lineage of my family going forward and back. But because it's not me that's doing it, they're going to have to continue going on with this. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to sign off. I've been here for 2 hours and a half. So we got another fake Supreme Cannon. Oh, man. Another Supreme Cannon here. Pashka sent me another $1.99. Tips are better than Patreon. Patreon has high fees. I don't think they do. I think for every dollar you donate, I get 98 cents. Or 99. Or yeah, it's like it's very low, but that's okay. Mike Martians is saying it's only the people that want to do business here. Mike, get approved for the Brave browser. We'll send you some bat. Lord Humongous still in the house. Guys, don't forget to hit up Lord Humongous on Patreon, please. He's doing some good things, and he needs the funding to build his home, please. Who could run a legitimate business here? Too many regulation, taxes. I'm running my business. I'm doing okay. Paying bills, getting by, living a happy life, hanging out with you guys. Chronic saying, yeah, that's crypto lingo. I'll send you vet. Yeah, guys, if you want to donate crypto, you could always donate it to Subscribestar. I'm on there too. There's a couple of people donating crypto to that too. If you guys want to donate to that, I don't care, man. But this is big. It's in Portuguese. It was sent to me from a government parliament member in Portuguese Africa saying Chinese swallowing forests in Mozambique. Mozambique is a pretty big country. And for China to go in and take 98% of their, is it 96 or 90? What was it? 93% of their wood is going to China. An organization has reserved commercial sale or commercial transports, and it would go in Mozambique until 2029. This is not good, man. The big green deal, big green deal, our carbon footprint. But what? So now China's stealing all the wood from Portuguese Africa? Okay, so like that's allowed. Like what's this green crap that keeps spilling on us when they're taking all the trees out of the ground? Anyways, guys, I'm going to sleep. Mike in the Night signing off here from Merritt, British Columbia. Guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I would like to know what you guys think. And yeah, see you guys through the week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Thanks for watching.